welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UKOCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
You're listening to the 132nd most popular podcast for people who participate in online competitive tiddlywinks.
Ian, my friend, welcome to the Swift Half. How are you this week?
I'm excellent, Alan. How are you? And happy June, I believe.
It is. It's June. It's been a busy June for me so far.
Alan, we're 7 days in. It can't have been that busy.
No, seriously. I have never had a June so busy yet. So I'm going to tell you a couple of things, but I've started a new training plan for my 100-miler. It was Harley's birthday. He's just bought a car because he's passed his test literally today as we record. So I've spent 3 hours trying to sort insurance out for him. And I've got a barbecue coming up this weekend.
You do. Listener, if you can work out where Alan lives, then by all means come and join us. But yeah, I'm going to be heading over to the real-life Swift Half for burgers and beer.
Yeah. Oh, Ian, one activity. Let me tell you about my car insurance, though. Before I even ask you what you're drinking, Harley's car insurance. 18-year-old, he was 18 up first this month, passed his test today. He's bought a Seat Ibiza, so he's been sat on his driveway for about a month and a half, this Seat Ibiza. How much do you think for an 18-year-old pass his car, a 58 plate, so what's that, 2008, so it's 16-year-old, worth about £1,500? How much do you think it is for insurance?
Right. Well, I'm going to think to when I pass my test.
Yeah.
And when I passed my test, my first car was a Rover something or other. And that was worth 400 quid. And the insurance on that was, I want to say 1,500. So in my head, calculating it up, what, about £3,000 maybe?
The first quote came in at £11,000. This is on Go Compare. We got it down. The lowest quote I got it down to on Go Compare was £4,500. So I'm thinking it's a lot of money that for a car. So I have a multi-car insurance. So me and Paula, we have a multi-car insurance. So I've had to phoned up my insurance company and said, can I add it onto my multi-car insurance? And if so, how much is it going to come to? And here's a tip for everyone. If you've got more than one car in your household, definitely speak to your insurance people. Don't go on Go Compare, Money Supermarket, any of them. Because I spoke to a guy called Gareth today, the Admiral, and what an amazing guy. He took all the details. I've got it down to £1,500.
Which is about right for your first car, because you are quite likely to wrap it round either a tree or something else.
Don't say that. I'm frightened of him at the minute as it is. No, he's actually a careful driver. But yeah, I mean, Go Compare and everything else, giving prices like that. And I spoke to my insurance people. Yeah, multi-car, 1,500. But the best part about it, Ian, is if he crashes it, it doesn't affect mine or Paula's policy.
Oh, that's good. And like I say, I like the fact that you spoke to him. You haven't just tried to do that sneaky way. You know, some people will say, oh, I'm the main driver, when in actual fact, your son is. I like the fact you spoke to him, you've done it above board. But we all know that the Muddy Duck is a law-abiding citizen.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, he is there. Me and Paul are named drivers on it, because apparently when we put two named drivers on it, it fetches it right down in price, which is what it's done. And he also gets the no claims discount, the multi-car discount. So he's got a little discount on that. So it would have been just over 2,200, I think they said. But with everything on, 1,500, I'll take that.
So no, if he's part of your policy, does that mean he can also drive yours?
No, I actually had this. This is one of the clauses I've got in it, because they said, do you want him to drive the other cars in the household? And I went, no. No, he just drives just his, no one else's. Yeah. And that's fully comprehensive as well. So that's fully comprehensive. I think that's pretty good. I think mine was 1,600 third party when I first passed my test.
Yeah, mine was, like I say, 1,500, and that was third party, which came in useful when I wrapped it around a lamppost after a week. So I will say I was talking from experience.
Yeah. There must be some story behind this. Why did you wrap it around a lamppost after a week?
Because I'm an idiot.
Did you complete? Would you say was you all right after it, or was you hurt? Or
Well, I was fine. You're gonna laugh.
go on.
It's probably the lamest RTA ever. Okay, so it was raining. It's not an excuse. It's just a fact of what it was.
Yeah.
And I came up to a junction that I've been a passenger on lots and lots and lots of times. And I just pulled up to it, and the filter light came on to allow me to turn right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the filter light, as I was turning, turned off. So me, as a new driver, panicked, thinking that as soon as that filter light turns off, a big HGV is going to come and slam into me. So I floored it, and of course couldn't control it because it was already tilted the other way. So yeah, I went straight into a sign that I think it said, "Welcome to Bolton. Thank you for driving carefully."
Oh, that's a cracker. That's a cracker. Oh gosh. I said to Paula the other day, I said, have you ever, because I've crashed twice, and I said to Paula, have you ever crashed a car? And she went, no, I've never crashed a car. I went, not at all. She went, no, not at all. She says, all I've ever done, she says, I once ran into a wall, and I reversed into someone once, but I've never crashed a car.
Is Paula one of them that has never had an accident, but she's seen hundreds?
Yeah, yeah. She's actually a very good driver. We were driving home from work a couple of months ago now, and this car literally came right across into our side of the road, from a T junction. We had the right of way, and she had to take evasive action, and we were traveling at 40 miles an hour. She went up the curb, everything. It was, gosh, I thought we were gonna, have some major accident, but yeah, she avoided it. So she's a pretty good driver. I'll give her that. I'll give her that.
That's good. Do you want to know what really upset me about that story I just told you?
Go on. What upset you most about the story?
I got charged as part of my insurance because obviously it was a my fault claim.
Yeah.
So eventually they tell you how much everything cost.
Yes.
I got charged for a brand new sign, and they never put it up.
No. So the council charged you and never put a sign up?
Never put a sign up.
I'd write a complaint that.
To be fair, it was probably, I want to say almost 20 years ago, probably between 15 and 20 years ago. I reckon the statute of limitations has probably expired. But yeah, since that, I've never had an accident. I'm a very safe driver. Well, you know me as a driver, Alan. Little old ladies go faster than me, not even in cars. Little old ladies go...
as they're walking past.
Yeah. But the only good thing about doing it that way is it barely impacted my no claims because I only had a week.
Oh, see, yeah. But your insurance is going to go up. For the next 3 years, your insurance is going to go up because they say, have you had an accident in the last 3 years, don't they?
Well, for some reason, probably because it was the council, it was like an open accident for a while. So it hadn't been settled. So yes, it impacted it, but not nearly as much as it could have.
Okay. All right. That's cool. That's good. Anyway, let's get into the show here. What are you drinking?
Well, I'm going to take you down memory lane today, thanks to the fine people at Tesco Haydock.
Tesco Haydock. Thank you, Tesco. Shout out to you.
Yeah, they have, again, got an unusual drink for me. It's not unusual, but it's definitely one I've not seen for a while. I've got Orangina.
Oh, has it got the bits in it?
Yes, there's something floating around at the bottom. I hope it's the orange bits.
You have to shake it up, don't you? Didn't the advert for that, was it a glass bottle, like shaped a little bit like a light bulb, and you had to shake it up to, what did it say, waken the orange or something?
Waken the fizz or something like that.
Yeah.
This is plastic because we don't trust people of Haydock with glass.
Does it say waken the fizz on it?
It doesn't. It does say et sa pope, which probably means the fine people at Tesco Haydock are getting this illegally.
So we say thank you to Haydock for importing illegal Orangina.
Essentially, all the rest of the label is in English, so it must be real. But they've been sparkling since 1936, Alan, just like you.
Cheers, Ian. I like that. I like that. 1936. Oh, you nasty person.
I'm going to get food poisoning come weekend, aren't I?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I've got special burgers for you. Special undercut chicken.
So, Alan, what are you drinking?
Well, down at Farmyard Jam, I mentioned that people brought me some beer, and I think Steve brought me this one. It's Bush's Isle of Man TT, and it's a Manx ale, 4.4%. Yes, I'm on alcohol tonight. It's good. It's a dark ale. I'm not usually a massive fan of dark ales. I'm like an IPA fan, me normally, but this is quite a good one. This, not quite bitter. You get your John Smiths and stuff like that. But it's a proper dark ale. Yeah, I'm liking it. Cheers, Steve. I'm sure it was Steve who brought it me.
Kieran, I know you're listening, Kieran McAvoy. Let me know, what's the difference between a dark ale and a stout?
Oh, yeah. Oh, stouts from black I get milky stouts though now.
You do, don't you? Like you showed me the one the other week in the I almost said
Galaxy.
Discord then, the Facebook group.
Yeah, the Galactic Galaxy Milky Stout.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know when it stops being a dark ale and starts becoming a stout. I've no idea. I don't really know that much about beer other than the ones I like drinking.
Yeah, I get that. Have you been training today? Have I told you about my 100-mile plan?
You mentioned it at the start, saying it was part of your busy June. But other than that, we probably should have gone through it last week, but we didn't get round to it. So what is your 100-mile plan other than to move 100 miles?
So obviously I've got this is going to be my final attempt this year. If I don't make it this year, I'm not having another attempt at 100 miles. It says at this moment in time. So come November the 15th, I am going to be running from Meriden, hopefully home, which is 102 miles. So I've got a plan. So Damon Hall's plan, I've taken that, and somebody McCormick, that one as well, and I mixed them together to create a 17-week 100-mile plan. So within 17 weeks, I should be able to run 100 mile. The 17-week takes me up to Rat Race Sea to Summit in Scaffold Pike. So I'm thinking if I've got 100 miles in my legs by then, I should be able to do Scaffold Pike with ease. So I've never had a training plan.
Yeah, that's true. You always just run to field, don't you?
Yeah.
But if you're peaking at Scaffold, when's your 100-miler?
2 months later, 9 weeks later, but all I've got to do is maintain, haven't I? So if I peak at Scaffold, I maintain. So I can do 30 mile, 40 mile weeks and still maintain my fitness at that level.
Okay, PTs out there, let us know whether Alan's plan's going to work, because I'm a bit skeptical of whether you can maintain for 9 weeks after peaking at Scaffold, but let's see.
Or the question is, would I have to drop off a little bit to build back up? Or could I continue to build? So if anyone wants to see my training plan, I've actually put it on UKOCR.com. If you go into training, in the little drop down, it drops up there. So don't click on the training button. Just go into the drop down. It's on there. It says 100-mile training plan. I'm going to keep a blog of how I do as well. So if anyone wants to see it, it's on there, and they'll let you know how it works.
That's good. I keep forgetting we've got UKOCR.com. We really should put more content on there.
We should. Talking about content, our first story of the week is on there. Hyrox and Puma have joined forces.
Again, obviously, they've been together for a long, long time, longer than 2 out of 3 of Alan's marriages, to be fair, but they have been. I am so eating undercooked chicken at the weekend,
Yes,
listener.
you are.
If I'm not here next weekend, you know why. But yeah, they've been together for a long time now, and they've renewed their vows, and they're going to be going for a few more years. I want to say 2027. I don't have the article in front of me, but I'm fairly sure it's. I want to say it's a 3-year deal.
Yeah, they're giving Puma trainers to all the Elite 15 and things like that, and kit, and didn't they do that last year when we watched it?
They did. A couple of points to this story. One is that they're going to be developing shoes with Puma specifically for fitness racing, which is interesting. Those of you with long memory will remember when I think Merrill did this with Tough Mudder, and I want to say Spartan did one with Reebok. So
And Craft.
And craft, yes. And there's a very, very low bar for Hyrox to get over to get a specific shoe that actually helps the race it's meant to do, based on the previous one. So it will be interesting to see what they come up for. Also, any Elite 15 athletes who are sponsored by Puma, because a few are actually sponsored by Puma now, they will be required to wear a specific shoe when they're competing.
Sounds good, Ian. It sounds good. It's good that a big company, one of the big ones, Cycloss Puma is one of the big sport companies, are like really getting involved and taking it on. I am shocked that some of the slightly bigger ones, and I say slightly, like Nike, and potentially Adidas, because I see Nike and Adidas are the top two, that they haven't tried to, I guess, sneak their way in, because Nike are like that, aren't they? Nike tend to, when they see something new, they tend to jump on the bandwagon quite quickly.
They do. We had to beat them off with a stick, didn't we? When we mentioned we liked Innovate.
Exactly, yeah. When I said that I'd gone from VJ to Innovates for my training shoes at this moment in time, I got beaten. You know, they were coming in, they were like, no, come to us. And yeah, sorry, Nike. But I'll just stick to you for my road running shoes.
Absolutely. I was just curious, actually, who owns Nike? I was wondering whether it was owned by someone else, but no, it is, in fact, its own thing, I believe. They do own Cobra Golf, by the way, which I didn't know.
No, I didn't. I know a funny story about Nike. Well, not a funny story, but when they first started, I think it was Denver, I think they started. If somebody memory serves me right. But anyway, when they first started, they needed a logo for it. And they got some designer to come up with the swoosh, the Nike swoosh. It's not a tick, it's a swoosh. And they offered the guy an option, which back then was quite a lot of money. I think it was $750 for designing it, or he could have 1%, no, not 1%, 1 cent of every item they sold with it on.
Wow, that was a good deal for him, wasn't it?
Well, he took the 750.
I should have the 1 cent.
Yeah. If he'd have took the 1 cent for every item, imagine how much it would have been worth.
Well, yeah, exactly. I will say something interesting about this story, Alan, this Puma story. Did you notice how many athletes they say have participated?
Oh, I didn't see that bit. No. How many? So in Hyrox?
Yeah, Hyrox. 175,000 over 65 races.
Wow. Work out the maths. 107. That's
it was roughly works out at 2,700 per race. Obviously, there's going to be outliers in there. So, for example, London will pull up the average, but there have been races, particularly in new locations, which are still like the early ones, which are like 700, 800 people, but an average of 2,500 athletes for every event you put it on.
That's good. That, isn't it? And it's growing, so it's still growing.
It is. And to be fair to Hyrox, I'll also say it's kind of nice that they're with Puma, because Puma is local to Germany. It is a German manufacturer. And it's kind of nice that they've kind of grown with Hyrox, because I don't know about you, Alan, but to me, Puma was always just, it existed. It'd be the kind of thing you'd maybe buy a pair of tracky bottoms with it from Sports Direct. You know, when you need a pair of tracky bottoms to throw over your dirty OCR stuff.
Yes.
But since this sponsorship, you are seeing more and more people wear Puma shoes. Listener, I'm going to put this out to you. Pre-Hyrox, did anyone really run in Puma shoes?
That's a good point, that, because I do own a pair of Puma trainers, but mine are casual ones. They are the tennis shoes. They're called Puma Rom. Very old school they are. I've never ever ran in a pair of Puma running shoes.
Exactly. And I've never run in Puma either. It was just something that you'd have casually. Like some of the sports clothes, like you'd have like a Puma jumper maybe. And again, it was ultra casual. It really was. Well, I finished in the gym, I'll just throw this on.
I used to wear Puma football boots years ago, which were good Puma King football boots. They were really, really good. But yeah, crazy, isn't it?
It's just fascinating. And another announcement while we're in Hyrox announcements, they have inked a new deal with Built for Athletes. So they're going to be a worldwide partner, I think, and they've just launched a whole new bunch of various bags. I do wonder where Kit Bricks would have been if they'd done a proper deal with someone like Tough Mudder and someone like Spartan. I know they kind of did a little bit of a deal, but they never really went all in, did they?
No, I think it's a big ask. We haven't seen Dry Robe do it either. Dry Robe went down the Olympic side, didn't they? They went down the Olympic side for a little while, and I think that Swims is taking it over now for the Olympics. But yeah, some of these companies that I guess it's what's return on investment they call it, didn't it? It's like if you're going to be giving things away or giving things relatively cheap to a certain group of people, is it worth your while to do it? I guess you've got to look at if they don't do it, are they creating a demand? Whereas if they do it, then you're going to get like Prime, for instance, create the demand early doors for Prime, and it was huge and massive. Now you can pick it up everywhere. I think one of my local shops the other day had 3 cases, so 36 bottles of Prime for a tenner. You know what I mean? It was like, what do you do? It's supply and demand, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And it is interesting when you think back again. Fitness racing High Rocks has only been going now properly since, I'll say, 2021. It only really has been going since then. It has been going since 2018, but the pre-COVID times, it was just a local event. 2021 is when it started to get big. You cast your mind back, Alan, back in the day, Built for Athletes wasn't even the best bag or most well-known bag at High Rocks. You had Bulldog bags, which were the same. If you go back through the archive and probably listen to, I don't know, Swift Half number 51 or something like that, we were chatting about the Bulldog bags, and our good friend Brian Wells was mentioning, well, you don't want either Built for Athletes or Bulldog. What you want is a proper ruck.
Yeah. I've got a Bulldog one. I like my Bulldog one, but there's that many out there. But you see, when these companies, so if you look at Red, who do Tough Mudders equivalent to Dry Robe, yeah, they don't go out and sell them in the shops. They're in the shops at Tough Mudder, but there's no Red representative there, which for Red, that's a low risk thing. But if you're going to go like Built for Athletes and have their car at every event that High Rocks do, and that's a lot of money going in there, you've got to see a return coming out of that. And is there a big return? Because if you're getting 2,500 athletes every race, yeah, you get a lot of people there, but most of them have already got bags. So I can maybe see if you sold 10%, you're selling 250 the first time out. If your next event, you're going to get a lot of that 2,500 athletes who went to that first event. So now your pool's getting smaller. Eventually, your pool's going to get that small where you're not going to sell any.
No, it's true. And I guess one thing that worked in Built for Athletes' favour was the fact that High Rocks was giving patches, whether by accident or design. It was a very convenient marriage that
yes,
High Rocks was giving these patches, and having a bag which you could put the patch on immediately was a massive pull. But you are right. Eventually, everyone's going to have one. And we sort of say with kit bricks, eventually everyone in OCR has kit bricks.
Yeah. I see Libby Joyce has become an ambassador for kit bricks.
She has indeed. And you know what? I haven't given kit bricks a look in a fair while. I might have a look at what they're currently doing. They did get taken over, didn't they? If I remember,
new company took them over. They got bought out by someone. I don't know who it is who bought them out. They got bought out by someone. They brought a tote bag out just for women not long since, and then they've got the City Bricks for men, which is a rucksack. So they have got a few other designs. I've got a City Bricks. I bought one of the very first City Bricks. I've got a couple of Kit Bricks. I've even got a Kit Bricks towel, which I actually love my Kit Bricks towel. It's one of their microfiber ones. And I've got a couple of Dry Robe ones as well. But the Dry Robe ones are not as big as the Kit Bricks one. The Kit Bricks one they had was absolutely massive. And I used to have one of them little Adobe rucksacks as well, just for like putting kit in, like wet kit and stuff like that. So Kit Bricks does some really good products.
It does, and you're still a marketer's dream.
Still a marketer's dream. Yeah, I've got nearly all their kit. And I buy them as well. This is my big thing. I buy most of my kit. 90% of my kit I buy at minute.
Oh yeah, me too. Because sponsors, if you're listening, we're running out of freebies. Please send.
Yeah, you always get a mention.
Yeah. Kidding, listener. We honestly only really mention the stuff we use. We don't. We're not someone like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that I'd never use. If a tuna company, given I don't eat fish, got in touch, yeah, we'd never promote them.
I would never promote anything I don't use. I'm not that feeble, and I know I'm a Yorkshireman, and every penny counts. But no, I wouldn't. If I don't use it, I don't promote it.
Right, exactly. Circling back to Built for Athletes, you are right, Alan. It will be interesting to see how it progresses, what happens next. I do know that they and a number of other places are cycling through the various ambassadors. So some people who are ambassadors from last year are not ambassadors from this year, which is quite interesting to me, but also kind of makes sense that maybe these companies see it as almost like a year thing. So you pick up a social media influencer, they promote you for a year, you then bin them off and move on to the next one because you've already got their followers and you just keep going. I can't say I really agree with that. When we're doing things, as you know, Alan, we always like having long-term relationships, but they're successful and we are marginally successful because this pays for itself.
Yeah, exactly. We're not need to make huge amounts of money, but some of these influencers are, aren't they? So I get it when they get a little bit annoyed, and you can quite easily, for the sake of giving them a small discount for everyone they sell. I always find it a bit of a to and a fro relationship. We've used ambassadors in the past for the race that shan't be mentioned, and we will turn around and say, right, okay, so for every person that uses your code, we'll give you X back. If they don't use that code, they're not getting anything back. But every time someone does, we're benefiting as a race, so they should benefit as well. So I can't see why you can't have more and more ambassadors. I guess the initial one, when you're actually giving them the kit to start with, that's where it's the outlay of money is, especially with somewhere like Built for Athletes. You're going to have to give them a rucksack and a few bits and bobs to get them going. That's where the outlay is. And I guess fetching new people in every year, but as long as you didn't have to give them people new kit every year, why not keep them on as well and have more than 5 ambassadors?
Yeah, I don't know why we do it that way. It would probably make for a really interesting long podcast, but I'm not quite sure whether anyone will be prepared to get on the pod and speak to us about it. So maybe that's something we put a pin in, Alan, and think about in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Talking about ambassadors and things that's going off, you sent me a link today to an auction, which I find this quite funny. So we know about British obstacle sports. The America has got USA OCR. Is that what we're going to call it? USA OCR, is it?
Yeah, they will be hearing from our lawyers, by the way, because I think they're trying to pass off as UKOCR.
Yeah, that's a good point. That, but they're running an online auction, Ian. And this just doesn't dumbfounded me. First of all, yeah, they've got different items. Okay, so you can have some sunglasses. You can either have Oakley's, Ray-Bans, yeah, or Maui Jim sunglasses. However, the buy now price is $350. I can go get a pair of Ray-Bans for $100. This is not an auction. It just doesn't make sense here. And the prices are absolutely a pair of VJ shoes for $300. How much are VJ shoes? They're not $300, are they?
Don't believe so. But Alan, my favorite is the stuff that money shouldn't be able to buy. Not money can't buy, but money shouldn't be able to buy. But if you want, you can get second is the best package, which is a pro athlete item. Your choice of 5 times second place Spartan Elite plaques from Ian Horsick or Tyler Veerman.
So they're giving away some plaques that the athletes won. Yeah. $200 and $40 shipping.
But if you don't want the silver one, Alan, if you think that would be a 40 too many, you
Yeah.
also have a third is the one with a treasure chest package, which again, you can get your choice of 5 times third place Spartan Elite plaques from, again, Ian Horslick or Tyler Veerman.
Third place. Why have they got no first place ones?
Oh, they'll keep them.
But there's one better than that. Because you can buy the Nicole Miracle fan package in. So this is Nicole Miracle's signed Spartan Pro team shirt, headband, and a 2017 World Championship gold medal. Only $200. Buy now, $200. Oh no, starting bid $200.
Yeah, that's the starting bid. I don't know what to feel about this because on one hand, I do guess that the 2017 gold medal may be worth something in the future to a collector.
Yeah.
The signed shirt, I really hope it's washed, and same with the headband.
Yeah, you've got to be a big fan to want to do that, aren't you? You know, to go into this, you've got to be a massive fan of Nicole Miracle and everyone else. And I get why they're doing it. You know, when you look at it, it turns around and states they're doing this to raise funds to send the national team to Costa Rica, to supply them with kit for Costa Rica, and for some of the costings to keep UKOCR running. You know, so I do get a little bit of why they're doing it, and it's good of the athletes to give this stuff up. I'm just not convinced if it's the right way for me, to be honest. But if people are going to buy it and you've got to raise funds, then what better way than to do it that way?
Oh, exactly. The auction, I believe, ends as this is going out. It'll end later today, listener. The good news, however, is unfortunately a lot of these things have no bids on. So you might get a bargain. I'll read out the URL because we'll forget to put it in the notes. So it is givebutter.com/2024_USA OCR_auction. Head over to there, have a look, and yes, if you want amongst items the Nicole Miracle package, like we talked, she has another package which doesn't have the medal, but it does have a long sleeve shirt and a sports bra and a t-shirt as well. So you've got a choice of 2 Nicole Miracle packages, depending what you feel like. I will say there are some here, Alan. We're having fun with this, but there are some here which are probably definitely worth it. So you've got 5 different coaching packages, which I think are cheaper than the usual. So that kind of thing, yeah, I'm happy with that.
And they're currently even the buy it now price is good, but the starting bids are these. And so BC Fitness 3-month coaching and comprehensive ring assessment is currently only $200. Buy now $400, but currently only $200. Someone can get a bargain there. The Hosek PE 2-month professional run coaching currently $150. You know, buy now $450. There are some good deals on there to be had in.
Right, and the 2025 Spartan Season Pass has actually got bids on. It's currently going for $600, so I suspect it has met the reserve price. But if you want to sneak in there, you can buy it now for $1,300.
Yeah, so there are some good deals on there. There's a bit of postage to pay on them, but all in all, it's a good deal on some of them.
No, exactly, Alan. And moving on to Boss News, last week I asked about the AGM online because rather than do my job as a journalist and reach out to the powers that be, I just make a comment on the podcast. And so far, like a bat signal, we always get reached out to. So, James, thank you for reaching out. I believe it is going to be in person and also virtual. So I'm sure additional information will be winging its way to British Obstacle members shortly, so keep an eye on your inboxes. Alan, really poor segue now, but we were talking about High Rocks earlier. I'm just going to wrap up the fitness racing news, if that's okay, and then we can move back. This weekend is the World Championships over in Nice. Neither me nor Alan will be making it. A mixture of work, money, and quite frankly, a barbecue has meant that we won't be making it this time. You will be able to follow along at home, though, on Friday, starting at 5:30 on their YouTube. That's 5:30 UK time. American audience, work it out. It's probably 12:30, but work it out depending where you are. 5:30 on YouTube will be the Elite 15 races. And then on Sunday, you will have at 4:45 the team relay race as well. So you'll have 2 races that you can watch on YouTube, and you can obviously catch up. And Alan, there is more.
What's the more? What more have we got to give?
If that's not quite enough fitness racing for you, the OCR report is live at Decker Austin on Saturday, and you can watch that on the OCR Reports YouTube channel. I want to say 1:30 UK time for the solos, and then 5:30 PM for the team race.
Nice one. Talking about OCR report, Matt Kirk sent me a message about the OCR report the other day.
Oh, what was it about?
Farmyard Jam made it into the results.
Awesome. Thank you so much, OCR report. I don't know why I'm thanking them. It's your race, but how cool is that?
It was pretty cool, actually. They took a little bit of Mickey out of it because they were saying Farmyard Jam, and they got so many, like 24 yards, and they didn't know the format. They'd not done, like you, Ian, they'd not done any media background to find out what it actually was. And they basically thought that Dassos and Russell and Kevin had just ran round the farmyard 24 times, not realising it was 24 hours, and a yard was, yes, once round the yard, but you had 24 hours of doing it. So, but no, big thank out to them for mentioning it. It's much appreciated whenever any racers in the UK get a shout out over in the States. So I quite enjoyed it. There's not many UK races do get shout outs on that.
Oh, that's true. To be fair, we don't give shout outs to many USA races,
No.
so fair's fair.
No.
Speaking of USA, Alan,
Yeah.
did you see this that I shared with you about this husband almost ruining the wife's half marathon? People have wrongly called it a marathon, but she finished in 1 hour 40, so it was a half marathon. But yeah, that's got a lot of traction on that tactic thing, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm laughing here because I thought it was so funny. So I think, looking at it, she is the first woman across the line in 1 hour 40. So is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so. It took me a little while to figure out that the person just behind her was a male racer, so wasn't technically in the same race as her. But the fact that she burst through a finisher ribbon suggests to me that she was the first lady through.
Yeah, and literally 10, 15 meters before. It must have been quite a small race because the finish line came down a hill, but there was no barriers. So spectators were just stood at the side of the road. And she's come running down this hill, and the husband's there with 2 toddlers, and he's pushing them into the road. Go and cuddle your mum. Go and cuddle your mum. So they both run out to her. She has to do this like 360 pirouette, double axle flip around them to avoid them so she can finish. She would have dipped under 140 if them kids have not run out. Gutted.
She really would have. And it's one of them. A few weeks ago, this has almost become a running theme, hasn't it? That we talk about people when they're starting off running, or people who are unfamiliar with running.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the other side of it. And I know that gender does play a bit of a role in the commentary here, and we'll get onto that. But this is another side of it, of how frustrating it can be when your significant other or your family and friends have no clue about your sport.
Yeah. It is, because obviously it's not. I mean, the dad, bless him, is putting out going, "Oh, your mum's going to win. Go and give him a cuddle," but get past the finish line. Do it the other side.
Exactly. And so I know there's a sense of entitlement of wanting your friends, family to know a little bit about your sport, but surely that's just being a human, if that makes sense, Alan. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure there are things that Paula does which weren't immediately interesting to you, but you do look into it. And like watercolors, you did them.
Watercolors, done them. Yeah. Clay modelling, done that.
It's giving me some ghost flashbacks, so we'll move on from there. But I guess the point I'm trying to say is, if you're going to support your significant other when they're doing something, learn a little bit about it and support them the right way.
Yeah.
And getting back to the gender thing, it doesn't look good, because it looks like to him this running thing is just almost a joke, as in, oh, it's just something she does from time to time. She is a serious athlete. I know 140 people might sniff at that for a half marathon time. I don't know for sure. Heck, it might not even been a half marathon, Alan. It could have been a 20 miler. We don't know the distance, but she was winning. Let her have her moment. It doesn't have to be about you, because what I'm thinking watching that is, on the way home, all he'd be saying to her is, oh, wasn't it cute how I got the kids to come and give you a hug?
Yeah. And she's going, no, I'm calling the divorce lawyer right here and right now.
I wouldn't blame her. If she starts a GoFundMe, I'll contribute. I happily do that. But yeah, we don't give relationship advice often on this show, which is probably a good thing. But,
just for me, don't take any from me.
or probably me, to be fair. But if you are supporting your partner as they're doing something, learn a bit about what it is, and don't do anything to try and make it about you. It's their day. Let them enjoy it.
Yeah, too right. I agree with everything you've just said there.
And those kids were super lucky that they didn't get trampled by the next runner, who would have been within his right. And fair play to the next runner, he took evasive action as well.
I mean, how the mum missed him, I'll never ever know, which is absolutely fantastic. Just going to circle back to USA there, Ian. We're talking about USA. I'm planning a trip to USA, so this is a call out to any of our USA listeners. I'm planning a trip, hopefully to start in Jasper in the USA, and travel on the west side of America down towards Albuquerque. Where should I be stopping over the 14 days? I want 7 places. Reach out to me, let me know 7 places where I should be stopping in between Jasper and Albuquerque, and why I should be stopping there. Quick thank you.
You might need to tell the states there, Alan, because I suspect there's probably like 200 Jaspers. I imagine you mean Albuquerque, New Mexico, but there's probably a lot of Jaspers there. Which state?
Jasper in Canada.
Jasper in Canada, right? Okay,
yeah.
So
it's Edmonton, not just near Edmonton.
Yeah, so not just the state. You're actually talking about a whole different country.
Well, it's only just in the States. It's only just over the border. So.
All right, so it is in the USA, but it's just over the border.
No, it's in Canada, but it's just over the border from the USA. Yeah.
Right. So which state are you coming into? Would it be Washington first?
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. I'm not sure. So it's early stages at the moment, but I am planning it for next year. So please, guys, just give me some tips. Where do I need to go? What do I need to see? I've looked at Salt Lake City's on the way down there. Don't want to do Las Vegas, so please don't tell me Las Vegas. I'm not going to Las Vegas. But there's Denver coming down. There is, if we went right onto the coast, we could go, I think, to Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles. But I don't know if I want to go to the coast. I don't know if I want to go inland and see something different. I want to make it something where not many people have been. So what do I need to see?
I'm going to try and be a journalist now, given I usually are really bad at it. I'm sure the listeners are thinking the exact same thing I am.
Yeah, what's that?
How on earth did you pick these 2 cities? Was this a dart?
No, it's we want to go to Canada, yeah. So I want to go to Canada, but I want to go somewhere where it's nice. And Jasper is near, so it's near Edmonton. A lot of really nice countryside, a lot of nice places around there. So it was just a place where we could get to, where the flights weren't stupid. I think the flights are only like £400 each. And then we come back. We're going to probably fly maybe back from Phoenix or somewhere like that, or even Los Angeles. But Phoenix is much cheaper than Los Angeles. So Phoenix flights are only 400 quid again. And we're Los Angeles were like 750. So
why Albuquerque?
Well, Albuquerque is right next to, not far from Phoenix. I think it's 130 miles away. So it was a case of like, where can we end up somewhere down that area? Might not end up in Albuquerque, but it was just, I like the name as well. The name's good.
It is a good name, but yeah, I was hoping for like, oh, we got family there, but you just
No,
gave me the most Yorkshire answer, which is that's the cheapest place to fly in North America.
exactly, exactly. Well, no, there's a few other places that are just as cheap, but we wanted a good 1,000 mile road trip is what we wanted over 14 days. So I think it actually comes in at about 1,300 miles, 1,400 miles is the total distance we've looked at, maybe even a bit more, but we want to travel every other day, but for about 6 hours. So we would travel to one place, stop over, have the full day there the next day, and then we'd travel down somewhere else. And so we're always having 2 days somewhere.
That makes sense. And listener, please get in touch. I can't wait to listen to some of these suggestions. I really am looking forward to that. Make sure you speak nicely to the car hire place, Alan, because you are taking the car across border, and knowing you will end up in a Washington jailhouse as opposed to a Turkish one.
Well, I've looked into that. We would swap cars at the border.
Well,
So
quite literally, you'd get to a border and then just hop into anyone else's car.
close enough, yeah. You can travel down to Canada, down to the cross. We have seen the crossing where you can go to, and then you would leave your car there, and then it's cheaper to get from that place into America. So yeah,
This isn't a Grand Theft Auto thing, right?
no, yeah, we're going convertible and everything, mate. Forget about everything. We're going convertible. So back to
Sounds amazing.
OCR. Back to OCR. We're going to
So
spend far too much
OCR,
on this.
right? Okay, let's get back to the UK. Let's go Forders Junior OCR. Good news, Forders, as we know, which was primarily known for its fitness events, is going a little bit all in on OCR with its course. It held the short course championships last year, and it's doing a junior OCR, isn't it, Alan?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a festival by the sounds of this. So it's on 16th of June. So it's coming up literally next weekend. And it's next. They are going to announce it. They've announced it, and you can go to like a farm as well. So it's purely for children, purely for kids. Lots of obstacles, and it's Father's Day as well. So if you're a father, why not take your kids there? 3K. So I wonder if they'll use the actual 3K route that they use for the 3K series. Atwell Farm Park. I know I've seen it somewhere. Atwell Farm Park is where you can get free entry to, which is around the corner.
Super cool. I do like how they're combining the two. So you could go and do an OCR and then take your dad to a farm.
What better way to go and see? Let your dad look at pigs and cows and ducks and sheep and goats.
You might be able to trade him for one.
Yes. Trade your dad for a pig.
Exactly. Speaking of farmyards, the Suffolk Backyard Ultra happened. Thanks to Mike Nolan for pointing this out. And can I give the result?
Fire away. Fire away, Ian.
The event was won by Lucas Robel in a eventual, well, his time was 63 hours, 41 minutes, but that translates to 88 laps, Alan.
Absolutely crazy. I mean, his slowest lap was 51.46. He must have been completely flying around. I mean, Matt Blackburn in second place. I mean, he must be gutted. 87 laps. 87 yards. He must be gutted. But big shout out to Lucas. Well done. I do believe he broke the. No, it wasn't him. It was Hendrik Bore, who actually did 82 laps. He broke the German record by 8 laps as well.
Well done to Hendrik Burry. But yeah, it's fascinating, these backyards. So, Alan, that is 63 minutes, 63 hours, 41 minutes. Put my teeth back in. And 88 laps is 3 2/3 of a day.
Yeah. 440 miles. I think near enough.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. So, yeah, at one point when these were just getting going, Alan, I thought, oh, I found my sport. Yeah, I have no chance. I don't think I'd finish in the top 10 of a DNS in an 11-man race.
What was so it's funny because it doesn't actually give a position because it just says DNF all the way down, doesn't it? But gosh, I mean, there's some You got to go 3 or 4 pages down where people then stop doing 24 hours. 24 hours just seems to be the norm for them. I mean, I just picked one up now. Mandy Foster, 24 hours, and she's aged 57-year-old. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. Kevin Munt, age 66, managed 25 yards. Oh, mate. Keith Burge, age 60, 34. I've got no chance, mate. I was thinking maybe veterans, I might have a chance, but I've got no chance at this either. So, no. Leaving them alone. Leave them to younger people.
Yeah, and 10th place, by the way, Alan, was he did not start lap 38, so he'd gone for more than a day and a half.
Crazy. Bit more Boss news have come out, Ian. If you are a member of Boss, this week on the next newsletter, you are going to get discounts for Spartan London South, the sprint night run, and also Rude Rampage, which is not the next race in the UKO series, because we've got the Spartan British Obstacle Sports one first, then Rude Rampage. So the next 2 races you're going to potentially get discounts for if you're a Boss member. So sign up for that. Have you made yourself a regional representative yet?
What, me personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't like that.
No, they won't like it if I did. I haven't done it. Good luck to anyone who does. There is still time for people who want to do it. I think it's a great idea. I really do. Someone local.
I do. Save Boss from me or Alan having any kind of power.
Yes.
Do it. It would be a bad thing. Mainly because we've already proven research has gone out the window. We can't stay on topic. So, yeah, it wouldn't be great. So anyone who's far more qualified, please do it. Not Boss news, but quick one. Wolf Run needs marshals for its Summer Wolf. So head out and have a look at that. In addition, what else have we got coming up? Is it Fit Body Farm this weekend?
That last weekend. I remember this weekend. I think it's this weekend.
This weekend. Awesome. We're doing well with the notes today.
But as I mentioned, Rude Rampage, they are launching on their website, Ian, obstacles. They've got some new obstacles coming up, and it looks like they have got an amazing rig section coming up. Looks like, do you ever do Suffering?
Yes.
There was
I
an
never did
obstacle
it, but I remember it.
No. There was an obstacle at Suffering, which was like a punch bag that you had to grab hold of, and then you move to the next one. It looks like they've got lots of these, but they're not quite as big as punch bag. They look like rams. The rams you get. They look like them, but with ropes on. So it looks like a rig with a difference. So that's going to be interesting.
Well, I've just gone and checked. Yeah, I believe Fit Body Farm has come and gone. So don't turn up to Fit Body Farm this weekend. But Summer Wolf is this weekend. So if you want a marshal, get in touch with them. Go and marshal Summer Wolf.
Definitely. I think I'm out of notes. Oh, I've got one last thing. We didn't mention it last week, but Killian Jornet became the winner of this year's Zagama Ascori Marathon when he did it for the 11th time. So 11 out of the last 12 years, he's gone and won that race. So big well done to him.
Well, massive well done to him. Oh, something that we didn't really cover last week. We've not really got enough time to cover it this week, but we might as well just mention it. Otherwise, it's going to be on notes forever. Edinburgh Marathon lived way up to its usual expectations and ran out of marathon medals.
I love that. I can't say nothing because I had to order Farmyard Jam finisher medals because when we opened them up down there, we realised that they weren't there. So big thank you to Zero Waste Medals for actually rushing them through and getting them out to him, which I know Dassos has got his with him right now. I do believe it. I'm hoping he's listening to this and with his medal around his neck. If he hasn't got it, reach out to me, Dassos, and let me know. You should have it.
You did give him jam, though, didn't you?
Oh, they've got the jam. Everyone got the jam. They will always get the jam, Ian.
So you, as a small regional race, still did better than the Edinburgh Marathon. Who got nothing?
Yeah, we did. Next year's jam is going to be our own jam, not homemade by us, but we're going to have Farmyard Jam, not Robinson's or whatever brand we always end up buying.
Which is of great relief to the local residents near you who once a year go to their local shop and find out it's been out of jam.
Jam. Did I tell you about when we went down this year? There was loads of, because you know this, you know the story. I don't know if our listeners do, but the first year when we decided to give jam away, in fact, no, it was the second year. So the first year we took some jam down with us. The second year we decided was going to give jam away. So we went to the local shop literally the day before and bought every pack of jam that they had off the shelves. So when we went down this year, and also last year, we still go into that shop to buy little bits and bobs, and they've still got loads of jam on the shelf because I'm sure they've got the EPOS system that tells them on the early May they've got to order extra jamming because they're going to run out.
That's hilarious. And also bad news from next year when they're going to have to discount that jam because you're not going to buy it.
Because we're not going to buy it. No. Which is great. We might get cheaper in August. Yeah, because it's May. We'll run out. No, because we're not buying it from them. So yeah, we're having his own.
No, you will, but I do feel sorry for that shop now. You might want to just clue them in that there isn't someone who really gets a taste for jam every May. They probably think someone gets cravings. Maybe they've been, shall we say, engaging in recreational smoking activities and they just need some jam.
Or somebody gets pregnant at the same time every year and needs jam.
Yeah, that could also be it. Speaking of jam, we chatted about crumpets last week, didn't we? Because I just literally recorded the episode with the Team England relay where we talked about crumpets and how they put honey on their crumpets. This made me laugh so much. I might get in trouble for this because it was in the training group of the trainers that I'm with, but they tagged us into this. Can I read it out to you, Alan?
You fire away. You can read anything out if I'm going to find it funny.
Ian K. So they actually tagged me in.
Yeah.
Since I shared the Team England podcast, I keep getting adverts for crumpets in my feed. Stuck on a coach to Bristol Airport, bloody starving now.
Oh, that's a cracker. Did they just share that little section in like a reel or something like that then?
They shared the podcast and then they said lots of chat about crumpets on their Instagram. And yeah, the elves that work in your Facebook decided they were going to send her crumpet adverts.
Oh, I think on I shared it on Overload about how would you eat yours, and someone put peanut butter, crumpets with peanut butter on. Or was that in the pub podcast group? I don't know which one it was, but someone said peanut butter on crumpets. I don't know. Crunchy or non-crunchy? Smooth or crunchy? I don't know.
Oh, that's a tough one. For crumpets, crunchy's fine, I think. I struggle with crunchy in a sandwich for some reason. But when you can see it as you're eating it, I don't think it's as bad.
No. I'm a crunchy fan. I like crunchy. I do like crunchy. So I think if you put it on a crumpet, it's going to go into little holes, isn't it? You can like build. It would like to look smooth because it'll all be into the holes.
That's true. No, that's very true, Alan. And right on to that, because we are all out of notes now and we're just wittering on. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, Alan. And please don't give me food poisoning, but just in case, Martin Gemmell, Will Chung, Mike Noland, and in fact, anyone who's ever been on the show previously, just check your diaries just in case Alan needs someone next week.
Ian, it's been a pleasure speaking to you again.
It has. And on that, it's a goodbye from me.
And listeners, I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast as much as we have. You take care. The barbecue, I won't really give Ian any food poisoning. Well, not a lot of it anyway, so he'll still be here next week. Until then, we'll speak to you all soon. Bye.